Okay. All right, sounds good. Oh, hey everyone. This is the SMI community meeting. We are having our bi-weekly call. It's September 15, 2021. Please add your name to the agenda. We're going to talk about, we have some discussion items today. And yeah, let's just kick it off. No announcements that I see. Bridget, you want to kick it off with the first discussion item on meeting scheduling?
Right. I was thinking we should cancel the SMI meeting that's scheduled for during KubeCon, just because most CNCF projects do. Anyone have any specific objection to that? Yeah. And then I also was thinking, I think we should cancel the multi-cluster working group calls going forward if we don't have a specific person who wants to run them, just because we have people were running them in the past, and I think that the people who are driving them are not necessarily driving them currently. So yeah.
Yeah, like from the OSM side, we definitely have people interested in implementing multi-cluster, but I think we don't have anyone really like able to drive that just right this second. We're also gearing up for a V1 launch. So I think for the next few weeks, we're a little bit tied up, but I think after that, maybe I can volunteer to kickstart it, or maybe somebody else will volunteer. So I'm good with canceling. Jared, do you have any objections?
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Okay, so instead of canceling them forever going forward, I'm just going to keep canceling them every other week, or that's kind of what I'm saying is like, we currently have an every other week calendar event that I just keep canceling. So,
okay. Yeah, let's just cancel it altogether.
Okay. I mean, we can always resurrect it, but
yeah, that sounds good.
It's just a little weird to have to set a cancellation constantly for something we don't plan to pick up in the near future. You know what I'm saying?
Are y'all doing multi-cluster stuff at NGINX or thinking about doing it in the future publicly?
When we first started, we were thinking about it, but right now it's yeah, we aren't doing anything with that for now.
Okay, cool. And then okay, cool, sounds good. So
maybe down the road, I don't know for sure, but not at this time. No.
I think once we've got some stuff figured out, we'll probably come back with what we learned, since we have an alpha implementation. Okay, Bridget, you have the next topic as well.
Yes. So I was looking at the schedule for KubeCon, and I know some of us will be there in person and some will be supporting remotely. And I'm going to be there in person, and the SMI project office hours are 45 minutes on Bevy that happen to be scheduled during the keynote, the immediately post keynote morning break on Thursday, which I feel like is going to be a very challenging time for me to jump on Bevy and try to run an office hour. So I'm curious if we have somebody who is not going to be there who would like to spearhead those office hours. I know Lee has led them the last few times, and yeah, it's basically.
Is it just one office hour?
It's one.
The 10th. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I can do it, and then I'll ask anybody else who wants to join.
Awesome. Sorry, loud noises outside my window. I'll put you down for it, and then we can keep working on the details for that. But yeah, it's just the office hours that Karen Chu got us that are featured on the KubeCon webpage.
Sounds good.
And they usually have some people show up, and you get like a Q&A sort of going on. All right, thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. I have the next discussion item. So I'm curious for anybody who's like been using traffic targets. Currently, there's not any detail in the spec on what namespace the traffic target should be created in. So I just wanted to add a line that says the traffic target should be created in the same namespace as the destination, so we can handle multi-tenant scenarios with like Kubernetes RBAC enabled. So like if you don't have access to an application running in a particular namespace, then you can't like control, like you can't define the access control rules for that application. And yeah, that's like one thing I've just been thinking about, and I think we talked about it a long time ago. Jared, do you have, I hate to put you on the spot also, but do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we, I checked with my team. I saw that yesterday, so checked with them to get feedback as well. And the only kind of use case that we could think of for allowing the traffic targets being separate namespace from the destination would be if maybe there's a cluster admin who's wanting to have overarching access control rules,
Mhm.
but that seems kind of maybe a bit of an edge case. I don't know if that's a real use case or not. That's the only thing that anyone could think of that would warrant having their separate namespace. That being said, I know that the SIG architecture doc advises having things in the same namespace. So I agree with your proposal here. I think that having this namespace would be better. We currently have it implemented so that it can be different namespaces, but tightening that up, I think you're right. I think that would be better.
Yeah, same thing on OSM. It's open on OSM, but it just seems like a hard thing for multi-tenant scenarios. All right. That's all I have. I'm still reviewing the other issues and proposals that have been submitted recently in the SMI issue queue. So I'm just going to be triaging those, but we've gotten like a lot of really interesting issues in the last few days. So I don't know who's putting those in. It's different people, but yeah, I think we should get to them pretty quickly, and I'm going to be working on that in the next few days.
Question if it's not out of place.
Cool.
I was just looking here. There's this one issue. No warning if incorrect YAMLs apply for traffic split. Is that out of scope for SMI spec? That seems more like an implementation, not so much a spec issue.
Yeah, so like for traffic split, if weights are distributed in an improper manner or improper way, like all the weights don't sum up for 100. Yeah, I think we should. I also think this is an implementation detail because like not like in Envoy, you don't have to have all the weights go up to 100. I believe that's the case. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, like different implementations, different proxies will do different things, and we don't need to prescribe that.
Okay. It was more just kind of trying to understand the scope of what the community is working on here. So
yeah, I think we even wanted to shy away from saying it's a percentage because not for every proxy that's not true. So, okay, I can respond to that, or do you want to respond to that issue?
me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can say it's out of scope for this project or what? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If that's correct. Okay. I can do that.
Okay, cool. That's fine. You don't have to. I'm just, you brought it
Yeah.
up. So
No, I do want to be, as we're wanting to be more involved with the community. I know we haven't been for the past few months. For a while, Matt and I were trying to attend, but so much going on, but we're trying to get more involved with the community again. So yeah, I could.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can say it was just discussed on the call and it's out of scope for SMI and something that the implementation should outline. So
Okay.
okay, and I'll chime in if needed on that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, we can even add a line to the spec that says that the total weight is out of scope, if that makes more sense to do that too. Okay, cool. All right. Do you want to add a line to the spec, Jared?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anything else you want to talk about?
I tried looking around. Is there any plans for the next release? Is there like a target date at all, or?
Yeah, we don't generally. I don't know if we have like a cadence, but we should create a cadence, like maybe like a quarterly cadence or something like that. We kind of just cut the release whenever. The only reason I and I generally cut the releases. So whenever there's like a good amount of changes and back and forth. So I think maybe like a quarterly cadence would be good. Is there something like, do you need the spec to be cut, or do you need a release right now?
No, not at all. We're just, we have fallen a bit behind and we aren't on the latest version of everything. So we're going to do that. And if it's going to be updated like the next day, and, just wanted to see if there was one that we could keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I think the things to keep an eye out for is that we're trying to rename the traffic target resource to traffic access. And to be honest, like OSM isn't, we support V1 Alpha 2 of traffic split, not V1 Alpha 4, which is the latest. So we're a little bit behind. So I haven't really been motivated to cut releases because I kind of like want to try out the latest versions before saying, hey, like, let's cut new stuff. So yeah, not
Totally makes sense. And if, like you said, if there's not a lot, like there's no point forcing a release on a cadence if it's not,
Yeah.
there's nothing to really release,
The other thing that's out is I just merged a change on traffic specs, which changes like the keys in the YAML, or in the spec YAML. So like, I think the matches key is now, it's called routes. And so that was a big change. And like, we've been working on OSM on like basically conversion webhooks. And I know Nick Jackson is also working on conversion webhooks in the SMI controller SDK. So I think we're trying to test how do we upgrade SMI resources, and how do we, make sure all of that works? How do those upgrades work well in OSM? So I'm not super keen on like jumping even to the next version of specs until we understand how upgrades work in our implementation. And then we'll, especially since that one's like a big one. So yeah. Hey, Keith, I see you're on. Thanks for joining. Do you have any updates on the SMI Istio adapter that you want to share?
Yeah, no updates right now. Still work with the Kubeflow folks and back channel with Nick to get the repo moved and everything. So hopefully next meeting have an update.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you need any help with moving the repo or anything like that.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mostly just have needing to wait for Nick because he's the owner of the current repo right now.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Anybody else have anything? Jared, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. So we can follow up on the quarterly cadence schedule on the release. Looking forward to the Istio adapter being moved into the SMI repo. We'll continue grooming and triaging and responding to the issues in the issue queue. Jared will update the spec to state that total weight in a traffic split is out of scope for the spec and is an implementation detail, and we'll respond to the issue. And we've got KubeCon coming up, so we'll work out the details of project office hours. Anything I missed, Bridget?
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. I don't have anything else if we want to wrap up. All right, thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.